Hello, my name is Jonathan Granoff. I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Global Security Institute. I believe that the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty is one of the three most important legal instruments of the 20th century. The first most important is the United Nations Charter. The first half of the 20th century can be distinguished from the second half of the 20th century by virtue of the creation of the United Nations system, which is premised on the equality of states and our cooperative capacities to address problems that challenge all of humanity and to focus on preventing the scourge of war. Is it perfect? By no means. Is it better than not having it? Most certainly. World War II would not have occurred, I believe, had the League of Nations had the support that the UN system now has. We need to strengthen that support. The second most important legal instrument of the 20th century is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which sets an ethical and moral norm for all people on the planet, not a value statement of Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist values, but human values concordant with the faith-based traditions of the planet and concordant with humanism. The point is that justice and the right to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and the basic freedoms contained in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are universal. And the third most important legal instrument is one that constrains this paradoxical use of scientific knowledge, the nuclear weapon. The nuclear weapon is a paradox because the more we perfect the nuclear weapon, the less secure we become. And the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty contains within it a core bargain. The bargain is that over 180 states have restrained themselves from this outlawry of building these immoral devices in exchange for the promise by the nuclear weapon states for them to eliminate those weapons through a legal, verifiable, universal process. Now, there are three countries outside of the treaty, and they will have to be eventually brought into the treaty, and this process must become universal. But we've got to walk down the road that makes clear that these weapons are more of a problem than any problem they seek to solve, and that we've got to climb down this very dangerous ladder of where we are now. Where we are now is that there are about 27,000 of these devices. Most of them are far larger than the horrific devices dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 12 and 15,000 kilotons of TNT, or 1,000 tons of TNT approximately. We have weapons now in the million-ton range. We need to take them off of the alert status. 96% of these weapons are in the possession and deployment of the United States and Russia, and they are still deployed just like they were at the height of the Cold War, and we're not even enemies. This makes no strategic, no security, no moral, no legal sense. Second, we need to make sure we don't produce any more fissile material to make more weapons. Third, we need to stop the capacity of testing any more of these to make sure that countries can't test and miniaturize, and downgrade the status of these weapons. Now, all three of these instruments that I stated, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Charter, and the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, assert our common destiny, our common human unity. And I am going also to Vienna to address the issue of preventing the weaponization of space. If a handful of countries proceed to attempt to dominate the planet and pursue global security through that dominance of weaponizing space, it will put at risk all of this very important structure of cooperation. So even if weapons in space could work, they would not net out an improved security environment. We gain so much from the civilian uses of space, and even the military uses of space as an intelligence capacity. It tells us what each other is doing. And that's good. But to weaponize it and to pursue security through domination rather than cooperation and the rule of law, this is ill-conceived. So I'm very hopeful that there is a consensus growing on the planet that in the same way as we must work to protect the climate of the planet together, we must work to address the gross inequities of wealth and distribution on the planet. We must also work together to ensure the elimination of nuclear weapons. Thank you for giving me the privilege to share these ideas.